What's going on, everyone? It's Rich Haywood here from Bacon Ice Cream Productions and Team RTFC, welcoming you to yet another episode of Good Times with Retro Rich. So today, it's mail call day. There are actually going to be some more of these mail call videos peppered in here and there, as I have received quite a bit of things over the break that I wanted to share with you, but I wanted to kind of like segment them into the purchases that I made, so it kind of makes sense moving forward. And, well, as we go even further, it'll make sense in a bigger way because I'll be doing some like deeper dives into some of these things that we're going to be opening. But for today, we're going to start with these two bad boys right here. Now, what's in them? I don't know. Let's find out, right? So, I was on the internet, as you do, just, messing around, doing kind of stuff. Yeah, I know, normally we'd go to the open zone and do all that kind of stuff, but, well, time's limited, it's all the stuff, right? So we're just going to do this like this. So anyway, we got this open here. So I went on the internet, and I'm searching around stuff, and I come across a post from someone none other than Howard Scott Warshaw. He is a former developer of games for the Atari 2600, possibly most famously and maybe infamously for being the programmer of the, well, I guess people would call it ill-fated, although I actually, sorry guys, I actually enjoyed this game, E.T., for the Atari 2600. He also was responsible for the very first ever licensed game based on a movie, and that was Raiders of the Lost Ark, which is a classic in its own right, both game and movie. But more on that later. So anyway, being such a kind of prolific figure in the video game space, of course, various forms of media are going to be created documenting his adventures in his career. So one of them was this DVD, which is called Once Upon the Documentary Series, and it's Once Upon Atari video games. Now in this is a whole bunch of different interviews and stories. Of course, you've got Warshaw in the video being interviewed. You got Nolan Bushnell, you got Todd Fry, you've got Larry Kaplan, Rob Furlop, Carla Mensky, Rob Seibel, and like a whole bunch of other people that are involved in the development period and times of the like the wild and crazy heady days of the Atari of old, right? So I want to say that somewhere, maybe sometime, this thing might have found its way onto Netflix, and I went to try to go and find it, but I couldn't find it in any place. But when searching something else, the thing I'm going to open next, I actually found a link to the DVD, and then said, well, it's not a bad deal. I want to say it was like $17-18 or something like that for the DVD. Now I've got it. So what I plan on doing is actually watching this again, and then maybe doing something like a commentary or like a reflection, or maybe even like a review of the DVD and of my experience watching it, and seeing if there was any kind of cool stuff to pick out of it, and maybe even like this will lend to, oh, I watched this and they were talking about these particular games. Maybe we'll do some gameplay and like that kind of stuff. So as we get into this new year, I'm exploring all sorts of cool stuff about gaming history, especially in the second generation, which of course is the focus, or mostly the focus of this channel. I just thought it was like a real treat to kind of like check out some of the stuff. It does say, however, for the those that are watching that are sensitive to that kind of stuff, warning contains graphic language and adult simulations. Parental discretion is advised. It is a non-rated DVD, I think, but that's a kind of weird warning in a documentary. So like, I don't know, maybe just some people saying some silly stuff. But hey, when a DVD comes with a warning, right? It's the content's got to be kind of cool, right? Especially when you're talking about a documentary about video games. Anyway, so there's that, and then we get to the second guy here. Hopefully it'll be easy to open. Well, like I said, I got this at Amazon US, so I think these are all available still. Especially this one, because this actually just came out. This is Once Upon Atari: How I Made History by Killing an Industry, by Howard Scott Warshaw himself. This is a full nonfiction, I guess, memoir written by Warshaw himself. So I thought it was really cool. I read the primer. I read the first couple chapters. There's a preview you can get on Amazon where they show you all the cool stuff in here, and you can read the first couple chapters. And as soon as I read the second chapter, I got straight through the second chapter, and then just immediately hit buy. Because I was just all right, I want all of the stuff here. We're talking 300 and something pages here. If I go to the back here, what is this here? Yeah, 317 with including the author and forward and all that other stuff. Looking at this thing here, it's just pot chock full of all sorts of cool stuff. There's cool pictures in here from the early days and stuff like that. That's kind of cool. But just hearing the story of of Howard Scott Warshaw and what was happening. I didn't know some of that stuff probably is in this DVD in here too, but I just thought it was really cool, and it was a really cool get for me, and again, really inexpensive. Speaking of other things that are cool, Ernest Cline, he's the guy that wrote Ready Player One and Ready Player Two. He wrote the foreword to this book for Howard, which is actually kind of neat. It's a couple pages of stuff where even Ernest Cline's talking about all the cool things that he had memories of back in the 70s and 80s. So playing old Atari games, and of course talking about E.T. and all that kind of stuff. And we all know, of course, from the books that Mr. Cline definitely has some really deep nostalgia hooks to some of that old stuff. You don't read a book and tie in one of the most popular 2600 games of all time, an adventure, as one of the central parts of your story without knowing or at least liking that stuff that came in that era, which is pretty cool. So anyway, this is going to be a pretty quick one. I'm just going to wrap this up right now. So I got some homework to do, right? I got the DVD to watch. I got the book to read. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do just that. I'm going to watch the video and I'm going to read this book. And then I'm going to come back to you guys, a week or two, whatever. Not obviously, it's not going to be the last video until then. There'll be some more stuff spattered around. But I'll be back to talk about both of these things in a longer form way. And I'll tell you guys what I think. Is the book really awesome? After chapter 2, does it just go dive bomb, or is it awesome? I'm sure it's awesome. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll read it, and we'll get back to that. And then, of course, the DVD will, I'll give you a thumbs, up, down. Is it worth it? That kind of thing. But altogether, this was not a bad purchase. I think it was $30. You get both of them. Not bad. It was pretty cool. I thought it was neat. Just kind of look into some history and learn a little bit more, and then share a little bit more with you guys. So anyway, I'm gonna put these down here and get them back upstairs. Looking for all sorts of things to do while the cameras are off and the TVs are off and the snuggle man, my little guy Henry, is on me. All sorts of interesting things you're gonna be seeing on this channel moving forward. So I hope you do come back and see and check it out. I 100% appreciate everybody for dropping on in and checking stuff out with me, and be sure to do all of the things. Please hit the likes, hit the subscribes, hit all of the fun buttons, and then make sure you get back in the comments and tell me what's going on. I'd love to hear from you guys. Want to talk to you, want to chat. And until next time, we'll catch you next time for some good times. This is Rich, and we'll see you later.
Team RTFC.baconicecream.com